Thank you everybody for joining our webinar today, covering Instagram basics 101, but also everything social media from a very first approach level. I'm really excited about this today. First off, my name's Dylan Green. I'm the Director of Biz Dev for Clover Lane Settlement. I'm sure some of you all saw my emails to be invited to this, so really appreciate everyone taking the time today. Also, big shout out to our owners, Mike Fiffick of Fiffick Law Group, as well as Susan Green, the owner and COO for Fiffick Law Group, as putting this on. And then truly excited for Michelle Hodges here. She's a doctor of occupational therapy who's made a transition to social media management. And she's going to give you all a rundown of where to really get started when it comes to social media platforms today, with a more focus on how do you really take that first step. So with that being said, I'll kick it over to you, Michelle, and then I'll make sure we're good to go on this presentation as we move along.
Perfect. Thanks, Dylan. Like Dylan said, my name is Michelle. I am the social media coordinator and visual strategist for the Virtual Sidekick Co., which is a Pittsburgh-based digital marketing firm. Go ahead and flip the slide, Dale. Thank you. We have a lot to cover today, so I may move through some of these pretty quickly. If I'm moving too fast, just let me know and we'll slow down. So what we're going to cover is, first we'll cover types of social media platforms and different social media outlets, and we'll kind of transition into how that plays into using your personal account versus creating a business account. And then from there, how to optimize your handles. Specifically, we'll talk about Instagram handles and kind of what that means and how to make the most effective handle for your business or for your account. And then we'll talk a little bit about engagement strategy and what that means for increasing your community and your visibility on your platforms. And then we'll just briefly talk about leveraging hashtags and SEO, because we could talk for hours about that. And at the end, we may have a few minutes for questions, but if we don't, my email is at the end of the PowerPoint, and I believe Dylan said that they were sending it out for you all.
Correct. We'll absolutely send out this as well as the video on top of it all.
Perfect. So first, social media. What is social media? Why do we do it? How do we make it the most effective? And our goal, and my goal as a social media manager, is to make sure that clients and people spend your time and your creative power efficiently. Time is money, and we don't have endless amounts of time. So how do we do that efficiently and channel the most bang for our buck here? The first thing we're going to talk about is different types of social media accounts and what they do for you. So our two major social media outlets are social proof and engagement, and search engine outlets. So social proof and engagement outlets connect you with people directly and connect people to you. So the primary goal of these is to showcase you personally and your personal brand, and they put people first instead of business or product first. And then our search engine outlets connect people to solutions, and they showcase products. So the product that you're selling, and in your case, the product would be your listings, your homes, your rental properties, whatever it is that you're selling to people or helping people come into is what we would call your product. Thank you. So our first two social proof and engagement accounts, we consider Instagram and Facebook our social proof accounts. So what they do is very different, but the goal is the same. Their goal is to connect people to you and to showcase you and your brand. So a lot of you have probably built your community and your brand and your business on Facebook, and recently have had to transition over to Instagram, and they're very different. Their algorithms are different. And so sometimes that's hard because the goal of each platform is the same, but also a little different. So Instagram is used mostly for visual storytelling. So what that means is like showcasing you and your brand or your company or your business through photos and videos, engaging with your community and people that you want as your clients, your past clients, vendors, businesses in your community, so you can interact with your followers and non-followers, commenting, liking, direct messaging them. And then discovery is a big thing on Instagram, is so using hashtags to explore a broader reach, or to be visible to a broader reach as well if people are looking you up. And then Facebook is primarily used at this point for community building. So like engaging in groups and on pages, community pages, or like a lot of times it's like what's going on in Cranberry Township or what's going on in Delaware County. Those types of groups and posting and building community that way, using targeted ads. So taking the demographic data of your following or your community or people that you want to target and having precise advertising that like just shows up for them. We're all victims of this on our Facebook. And then content variety. On Facebook, you can share other people's posts, you can share your own posts, you can type a little few sentences, you can share photos, videos, links, articles, whatever it is. So it gives you a lot of content variety. Our search engine accounts, on the other hand, are YouTube and Pinterest are the primary ones that we use and see. So YouTube, I know, is intimidating and time consuming, and a lot of people shy away from YouTube for that reason. But I think the benefit to trying to dabble in YouTube or using YouTube or video in general is that right now we're seeing the highest ranking content types on Google searches are video. And a lot of people are leveraging that by trying to create and post YouTube videos because video content is what people are watching and what people are engaging in. You can monetize on YouTube and you can earn money through your ads and sponsorships and paid partnerships. And search visibility is the big one, which is kind of what I covered, like leveraging your SEO, your search engine optimization for video discovery, because those videos are popping at the top of Google searches. And then Pinterest is a huge one. So Pinterest is used primarily for visual bookmarking, which means people are pinning images and content that is linked specifically to a website, an Instagram post, a Facebook post, something. You can't make an Instagram post without attaching a URL to it. So not only is it driving traffic to those sites that people are linking to their posts, but it's also bringing in traffic that may not have otherwise found them. And Pinterest is the primary place that people are going for inspiration and ideas and trends. And so if they're seeing someone post their listing on Instagram or on Pinterest, sorry, and they've linked it to their agency website with all of their other listings, now they've just driven traffic and people are going to come back and look at that every time. So what this means when we're deciding what platforms we should be on is asking ourselves our 3 big questions. So where is your target audience most active and who is your target audience? What type of content do you plan to share? And what are your goals for social media? So understanding where your target audience is most active is huge in making strides for engagement and building community. So what platforms are aligning with the age, the interest, and the behavior of your audience? We know for the most part that older generations are primarily on Facebook and our younger generations are primarily on Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and TikTok. So where is your target audience at? That's where we need to be focusing. And what type of content and where does your audience prefer to engage with it? So if you want to post video content, but you know that your audience isn't on YouTube, then maybe it's Instagram or maybe it's TikTok. What type of content do you plan to share? So are you just primarily focusing on images, videos, articles, or like a mix? Having a mix of these things is going to really decide where we're focusing our social media like strategy. And then the frequency. So can you consistently create the type of content that performs best on each platform? Consistency is huge for reach and engagement. And if we can't consistently post the same amount per week and at the same time per week, then that really is negatively affecting you and how you're making an impact on each of your platforms. And then what are your goals? So is it brand awareness? Do you want to increase your visibility and your reach to people? Do you want to build your community? So are you more interested in engaging deeply and meaningfully with your followers? Or are you more wanting to convert? So are you wanting people to see your posts and drive traffic, generate leads, or make sales? There's a piece of each of these on every platform, but if your goal is one over the other, then that's really going to tell us where we should focus. So what do we do with our personal accounts? Maybe you're like, I have a personal account. I use it for personal and business. I don't know if I should start a personal account. So this is kind of our best practice in what we say. Do we want to start completely new, or do we want to build on the following that we already have? My big question for you, and that we ask people and people ask us, is does having a foundation of followers matter that much? So when we ask that question, does it matter to us and to our business? And does it matter in terms of creating visibility and reach for ourselves? If we're using our personal account, there's pros and cons to both. So we'll run through them both. Our personal account, we've got an existing audience. We have current followers. They've been following us for a while. Maybe they're our friends from high school, college, adulthood. Maybe they're our neighbors. Maybe they're our neighbors' friends, whatever they might be. It gives us a sense of authenticity. Like we already have a personal touch to our content and it's already resonating with our followers because they're used to us posting personal stuff on our personal account. And it creates an ease of management. So you don't have to manage multiple accounts. You just have one, which is nice for a lot of people. So the pros to all of that is that you got a quick start. You're leveraging your existing followers. You've already got a following. You don't have to worry about trying to build that. You already have the personal connection. So you've got stronger engagement through your personal branding. But the cons is that sometimes we blur the lines and it's difficult for people that aren't in our world to separate our personal brand and our professional brand, or to understand where the hard boundary is between your personal life and your professional life. And because of that, we risk overexposing our personal life and letting it affect our professional image, which can be really detrimental for some people. Where creating a new account also has pros and cons. And what we can do here is focus our content. So if you're starting from zero, you don't have to worry about what your brand has already been or how to transition effectively. You can just make it a dedicated space for your specific brand, your specific industry, what you want. You can really pinpoint your goals and create your brand around that. You maintain a very clear boundary between your personal life and your business life because you've created a new account. So you have created a business account and that's all that it is. And then brand growth. You have the potential to grow your new audience specifically from people that are interested in what you're doing, what you're selling, what you bring to their life, what value that you add, and that are specifically interested in your brand and what you're doing. So our pros to that is you tailor your content to a specific audience and you have clear professional brand identity. The cons, and this is what really sets people back from creating a new account, is that growth takes time, and it takes time and strategy and consistency to build a solid following and community. And it's another account to manage, and you need more resources to manage multiple accounts. So those cons really are what set people back because, let's be honest, it's nice to already have a following, but it's also nice to just create that very curated following to who you are, what you do, and the people that you want to reach. Because of that, we have to think about our Instagram handles. So our handles are our ats and then what comes after it. And I will tell you, cool does not mean better. If your Instagram handle is cool, it's probably not searchable and people probably aren't stumbling upon you. So our best practices for making or changing social media handles follow these 7 key tips here that we're about to go through. We want them to reflect your brand. We want them to be consistent and available. So We want it to be something that is the same across every platform, because if I'm looking at you on Instagram and then I want to go to your Facebook and it's totally different and I can't find you, I don't know if it's the same person. I don't know if you're legit. I don't know if you're trustworthy or credible. It makes me kind of question what type of business you are and if you're still current in business, or it just brings up a lot of questions. We want it to be simple and we want it to be memorable, so it's easy to share with others. People don't have to think about what it is when they're telling their friends, like, oh, I worked with Dylan, he's a realtor in Philly, but I can't remember what his Instagram is. That's not benefiting you. That's not benefiting them. It's not benefiting anyone at the end of the day. We want you to incorporate your keywords. So we put examples here like at Clover Lane Title or at Clover Lane Settlements. They have keywords and the business name in the handle. And that's one of the most important things for being findable and searchable. We want you to avoid special characters like the underscores, the hashtag, the exclamation point. Think about your future growth. So if you grow, do you want this name to follow you, or are you going to have to change it and rebrand later? And then test it out. Put it on your marketing materials, see how it looks and feels, see how it sounds coming out of your mouth. You know, an example that I use is if I'm Googling, I'm using Dylan as an example, but if I'm Googling realtors in Philly and Dylan Green pops up, but his Instagram handle is selling homes and design with Dylan, and I go to Instagram and I type in Dylan Green, Philly realtor, and he doesn't pop up, I'm just going back to Google and I'm going to the next person because I can't find him. So making sure that we're optimizing our handles is one of the most important things we can do to build our community and grow and be visible and reachable to people that are looking for us. How do we, once we've got all these things, we've made our account, we've got our handles, how do we engage with people? How do we build our brand? How do we build our community? You want to engage with new and old clients, and you want to engage with your potential target clients. So those are businesses and people that maybe are referrals, or they're businesses in the area that you like, and you want them to maybe be like, oh, I know a realtor, or if someone's like, oh, we're just visiting this area of town because we're looking for new homes and to move here. And they're like, oh, I've got a realtor for you. And they rattle off your handle, and then they engage with you and you engage with them. It's little things like that that go a long way. We want it to be consistent. We want it to be personal. And networking is huge. So again, like I said, engaging with your industry peers. I know sometimes that can feel counterintuitive, but building your name and your reputation in the industry only happens by engaging with industry peers and also engaging with your potential new clients and your old clients. When we want it to be intentional, we don't just want you to be throwing like comments here and there. We want you to think about what you're commenting or DMing or liking or sending to others, so that it feels really intentional to the people that are receiving it. And we don't just want to throw like, what we see all the time is like 3 fire emojis, or like 3 hand clap emojis, or 3 smiley faces. Like, comment something that's relevant to the content and it's going to make you stick out in the comments, that the person creating and posting that content is going to reply back to you and be really fond of the interaction that they had with you initially online. So another way we engage is by commenting, liking, DMing, what we kind of just went over, and then our stories and our highlights. So in our stories, this is the perfect place to be interactive. Use polls, questions, stickers, show your face. People want to see you. They will always listen. They will always watch if they can see you talking to them. I know this is uncomfortable for a lot of people, but people are loving seeing you. They care about the person behind the company or the brand more than they care about the company or the brand. They want to know that you're personable. They're trusting you to help them find a home or to sell their home. They want to make sure that you're authentic, you're personable, they can connect with you. Showing your face and talking to them on your platforms, perfect way to do that. You want to give them updates, share real-time updates behind the scenes, film yourself in the car, do a quick little behind the scenes look at an open house or at a listing or in the office or wherever you're at for the day, and encourage your followers to engage with your story content. So you want to give them a call to action. Use the link button and Make them click on a link, make them click to a listing, make them go to your website or whatever it is that you want them to go to. People love instant gratification. And if you use all of those interactive pieces in your story and they can just click it or answer or type, they love it. They're going to do it every time. And then our highlights, our highlights are the things that show up on our profile that people can go and click through at all times. So you can organize them into similar groups for easy navigation, like coming soon, just listed, settled, open houses, events, whatever it is, and people can find what they're looking for and click through. Your highlight content is a really great place to put your frequently asked questions or your tutorials or your informational and educational content. And there's the visual appeal that goes with highlights is having custom covers for them that look cohesive and keep them on brand. People want to come to your page, see your brand, know that it's put together and be like, I want to work with this person. Another form of engagement is our hashtags and SEO. Like I said, we could talk about this for hours, but I'll keep it brief for you. So our hashtags increase our visibility. So those are our search engine keywords on our platforms. They also rank on Google when people search for realtor in Pittsburgh, realtor in Philly, realtor in Cleveland, whatever it might be. Sometimes people's Instagram posts will pop up if they've used hashtags. People search hashtags on Instagram as well. They need to be relevant. So you want them to be relevant to your industry, who you are, what you're doing, what the post is about, so that it attracts the right audience, and keeping up with trending hashtags for timely engagement. So if something is trending in the industry, like let's say in the design world, the red, having something red in your room is trending, you could use that as a hashtag. Or if owning townhomes or condos or whatever it might be is trending in your world, you want to use those hashtags because that's what people are looking for. And you know best what's trending in your industry. So using the hashtags that represent that is a great place to start. SEO and keywords are just how you incorporate keywords and your captions and your hashtags in your video content. All of those things rank on Google when people are looking for it. So if you're not including keywords in your captions, people aren't finding you. If you're not including, like if you just say just listed and then you give no description of where, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, the school district, you don't give any of that information in your caption, it's not popping up for people and they're not finding you. So including those keywords is essential for building growth and building your community and being found outside of just your word of mouth referrals or people that just happen to stumble upon your content. And then our analytics, if you see on your profile, you have a little insight button, and this tells you all about your followers, all about your engagement, and all about your reach. So reaching people is important, but are they engaging with your content? Because that's how we're going to convert. So taking all of these engagement strategies and putting them together on your Instagram is how you're going to convert people to follow you, to like your content, to comment on it, or to refer you to other people. If people aren't seeing you, your name isn't in their head for them to refer to someone that's looking for what you do. And then our biggest thing to wrap it all up is to continuously adapt, but be patient, because good strategy does not make you go viral overnight. But what it does do is create consistency and a sustainable positive growth pattern, which is what we want to see. We want you to be continuously growing and not shoot up and plateau and then never grow again. So all of these things considered are what we put together to create consistency and sustainability in your brand and in your growth on social media.